Our society does say to us that the doorway to success swings outward. In other words, if we get nice things, we will feel really good. Our society says when you get a lot of success and status and position and applause and fame and houses and shiny objects, well, then you are going to have it made and you are going to wake up on a Monday morning feeling absolutely fantastic. I do believe that the doorway to success doesn't swing outward, it swings inward. What I mean to say by that is the more you can grow in what I call in my methodology your 4 interior empires, the more everything you touch on the outside will reflect who you are within. So as you grow the first interior empire, which is mindset, which is your psychology, your behavior will reflect those beliefs. If you have beliefs of toxicity, if you have beliefs of scarcity, if you have beliefs of selfishness, if you are stuck with intellectual programming, which is the more I give in my work, the more I will lose, those things will hold you back. So of course you need to calibrate and upgrade and optimize your mindset, because that is your psychology. And as I've suggested to you, your psychology determines your income and your impact. But though a lot of pundits in the marketplace say mindset is everything, with deep respect I suggest there are actually 3 other interior empires after mindset that you really need to work on each day to live an abundant, strong, healthy, excellent, rich inner life. Second interior empire is your Heartset. We have a beating heart. We have emotions as human beings. If we are filled with shame, anger, sadness, disappointment, frustration, those lower grade emotions, of course, we can't handcraft beautiful lives on the outside. So we want to replace those and purify our hearts and our Heartset. And I'm going to share a bunch of tools that will be super helpful to you. But we want to purify our Heartset, so in that dimension of the second interior empire, we are filled with awe, wonder, gratitude, love, bewilderment, astonishment, joyfulness. But it's not only mindset and Heartset that we want to work on to build a strong inner core so that our outer life rises with us. There's the third interior empire, which is our Healthset. We want to cheat death in many ways. We want to extend our longevity in many ways. We want to increase our energy, because sometimes energy is even more important than intelligence. Stamina is a word I want you to think about. When I mentor the billionaires and the elite athletes and the movement makers, these people all have another golden trait. And the golden trait is stamina. They simply do not stop when they are in hot pursuit of their ethical ambitions. So you want to work on your Healthset so you have more energy, more stamina, more vitality, so you feel good in your skin, so that your brain is working strong, your gut is at peak, and so you extend longevity. Because if you could add another 10 years to your life, or even 20 years to your life, even 30 years to your life, what would that do to your income? What would it do to the compounding of your investments? Not that I'm giving any investment or medical advice in this program. If you give yourself another 20 or 30 or 40 years through biohacking, good rest, excellent nutrition, exercise, nature, sunlight, etc., what would that do for your sense of adventure, your time with your loved ones, your impact on the world? Mindset is your psychology, first interior empire. Heartset is your what? Emotionality, second interior empire. Healthset is your physicality, your third interior empire. And that brings us to the fourth interior empire, which I call Soulset. Soulset is your spirituality. And more as the world becomes more uncertain and more volatile, I believe it is incredibly important for you to battleproof and strengthen, polish, calibrate, and optimize an amazing Soulset. But as I mentioned earlier, we have an egoic self, which has formed through the programming of parents, environment, nation, associations, and media, and micro trauma and macro trauma. And that is formed as we've journeyed through life from the perfection and innocence of childhood. And that is not our true self. That self is selfish, and that self is fearful, and that self is often scarce, and that self is perhaps petty. It's not so creative, it's not so productive. Our egoic selves are our smallest selves and our fakest selves. Deep below the layers of doubt, fear, disbelief, we've got our heroic self. And the journey of a human being who wants to lead the richest, happiest, strongest, most creative and productive life is in many ways not transformation. What a radical thought. The goal of personal growth and leadership development and self-mastery isn't really transformation, it's self-remembering. Because as you've left the perfection of who you once were and gone out into the world and experienced the hardships and the disappointments and the programming and the influence of society who wants to make you the way they want to make you, you have gone through a process of self-forgetting. And so the real key is to return home. The real key is not to become someone that you are not, but go through the layers of doubt, fear, disbelief to remember who you once were. And that brings us to who you truly are, which is not your egoic self, but your highest self, your heroic self. And when you work on your soul set, you will build intimacy and remember steadily day by day who you truly are. And when you remember who you truly are, you become powerful. You become naturally creative, just like you were when you were a little kid before the world taught you not to color outside the lines and become like everyone else and march in line and dress like everyone else. When you steadily build intimacy with your heroic self, your truest self, through work on your soul set, you become kinder, you become selfless, you become much more intuitive, you become truly powerful, and you become unkillable. And literally, you are no longer dependent on the need of the world for approval, and even you don't depend on the world being okay and sunshine and in order for your peace. Your inner peace comes from a place deep at your core when you get to this stage. And you most certainly will if you keep practicing every day. Remember, you get stronger at what you practice. Look at your life right now. Where you are winning shows what you focused on and what you've invested your daily practice time in. And where you're weak, it just means you need to practice more. And what I also really must share with you on this point about soul set, the more you go deeper into who you truly are, the more you build that relationship with your heroic self, the less fear you will feel on a daily basis. Now, how is that practical to you as the doorway to success swings inward? Well, the more you grow your inner core and heroic self, the more you will be an instrument of service to other people. You won't be caught up in jealousy and scarcity, me, trying to give as little as possible. When you do soul set work, and I'm about to share the tools for mindset work, Heartset work, Healthset work, and soul set work, but when you do the work on your soul set, you realize we are all brothers and sisters on a small planet. You start to care about Mother Earth. You start to actually care at a visceral, cellular level about your neighbors and your teammates and your customers and your followers and your suppliers. It just comes from a very deep place of service, which is the eighth form of wealth and the wealth money can't buy. And so when you come from a place of deep service, from a spiritual place, as strange as this might sound, but as an entrepreneur, as a business leader, for example, as someone who is in the marketplace, or no matter what you do, you could be an artist, you could be a screenplay writer, you could be an astronaut. But when you come from a place deep within of spiritually feeling connected to other people, then you can do no wrong to other people because you are so connected with your highest self.